ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम. We are trying to study the Brahma Sutra Shankara Bhashya in the second important adhikarana called Ikshatyadhikarana, after establishing the fact that the truth in the world needs to be found out, and if it is to be found out, then Veda or Shruti is the only source where the truth can be found out. And the Shruti tells us that Brahma seems to be or is the source of the world, cause of the world. The Veda also has come from the Brahma, and all the scattered statements and declarations of the Rishis of yesteryear, in the concluding part of the Vedanta called Upanishada, has a distinct harmony in them, samanvaya, and no discord or discrepancy. They all in one voice state that Brahma is the source of everything. Other than Brahma, everything is false. Brahmam Satyam Jagan Mithya. After seeing the nature of the Brahma, which happens to be of the type that it is the only one existing, Ekameva Dvitiya, it has no inclination or no interest in doing anything. It is partless, avayava rahita. It doesn't undergo any change whatsoever. It is the purest of the pure. It is not caused by anybody. It is the prime. There is nothing before it. After eulogizing so much, after singing the ballads of the ultimate reality, the big question that comes, $1 million question, that if the ultimate truth does not undergo change, is not inclined for change, then that which is not Brahma, that which is not Atma, Anatma, Jada, Achetana, where is the origin of this? The world cannot have an existence if the only and only existence is Brahma. If on one hand, if we say Brahma is the only and ultimate existence, then under what circumstances we ascribe the presence of world? If we stick to the fact that Brahma is the only thing that is existing and it never undergoes any mutation or change, then the ever-changing world, from where it has come? Never changing and ever changing, how they are related to each other? And if never changing is the only thing in the world, from where did this ever changing came? Did it really come or not? If it has come, does it have existence or it doesn't have existence? And if it doesn't have existence, then why we feel that it exists? So the fundamental problem about the world is world itself. Does world exist or not? Is there any phenomena called world? And if it is not, then what is that I am experiencing every day? Every moment I am experiencing the world. In fact, I proudly say I am the part of this world. Extremely diametrically opposite things are trying to be blended together in Indian philosophy. It looks like that. The one who is the ultimate cause and ultimate truth doesn't do anything. He is the only one existing. If he is the only one and he doesn't do anything, then what do you say about the world? From where it came? Who looks after it? How is it that the people in the world and the jivas in the world feel that I am in the world and they don't feel I am Brahma? And this comes, or this brings us to a very fundamental problem. What is the origin of universe? What is the origin of Jagat, world? And after a lot of deliberations and logical thinking and experiential or empirical knowledge, the rishis who contemplated by taking this thought in the mind and deeply contemplating, when their ability of the intellect to understand the things widens, when the light that throws things out of the dark becomes larger and brighter, new discoveries happen in the mind. The intellectual horizon starts expanding in all directions, and new truths are found. They are found by the intellect. When the intellect is focusing on the one single fundamental thought, that what is the truth about the world? The world exists or doesn't exist? If it exists, how? If it doesn't, how? Or does it exist for a moment and it doesn't in another moment? Is it that the world has a different kind of existence and I do not have the ability to perceive it that way because of my presence where I am? Can I develop my intellect in a very penetrating and invasive manner so that I am able to understand the whole world as it is, if at all it is existing? And then amongst the philosophical expositions done by these highly developed intellects called rishis, the one who sees the light, rishi, after doing a continuous contemplation, the muni, they stated their own views, which slowly moved from truth to higher truth, to further higher truth. So the journey of thought process or intellectual fermentation, vigorous intellectual storming to know the nature of the world, moved from lower truth to higher truth, not from falsity to truth, as Vivekananda said. And almost coming to the final destination and knocking on the door are the Sankhya Tattva Jnana. They knocked on the door, but did not open the door. It was Advaita who opened the door and entered into the sanctum sanctorum of the truth. The Sankhyas, with their excellent analytical skill, tried to prove that if the ultimate truth or the Brahma or the Purusha has no interest, no inclination to do anything, the world cannot be produced by such an entity which is absolutely not capable of creating the world. The Brahma is incapable of creating the world because it cannot undergo change. It cannot cause anything in the manner of creation. It doesn't create. There is no kriya, vikraya, vikara in Brahma. So Brahma cannot be the cause of the universe. However, Brahma's presence is a must for the universe. So far, the ultimate truth was sought in the world itself by other darshanas or other philosophers. Where is the ultimate truth? It is in the body, charvaka. It is in the indriyas. It is in the buddhi. It is in the kshanik vijnana. All these other philosophical trends, whether it was the Buddhism or the Nyaya Vaisheshika, Vaisheshikas said that it is because of the Paramanu that the world is. The Paramanu is the cause of the world. But the Sankhya came closer. However, they said the truth, ultimate truth, is not the cause of the world. Presence of ultimate truth was required. Agreed, the Purusha is must for having the world, but the world per se, the world itself is not created by the Purusha or the Brahma, but by the Prakriti. In same breath, Sankhya say that Prakriti is achetana, jada. It is non-sentient, yet it creates the world. How it is possible? It can be understood beautifully by an analogy. The analogy given by none else than Gorakshanath. If there is a well containing pure, pristine water and existing forever, so the well containing the water is nothing else but the ultimate truth called Brahma. Now, if right besides the well, there is a seed, the seed will sprout because of the water into a tree. This tree full grown, full bloom tree is nothing else but the world. So the tree came from where? Not from the water, from the seed. Water cannot give tree, seed can give tree. But seed cannot give tree unless it is watered. So the cause of the tree is seed, not water. That's what the Sankhya says. Advaita says seed itself needs water. The water seeps into the seed and then into the tree, right up to the tip of the last leaf at the height. It has essence as only water, because you remove the water, the tree dries off and finishes. You chop off the branch, the tree will still be there. According to Sankhya, water, sir, cannot become a tree. Only the seed can become a tree, although seed by itself requires water. I agree. Seed requires water is agreed. Purusha is must for the Prakriti to work. But don't say that the tree is because of water, the tree is because of the seed. It is the seed that has multiplied, changed, continued into different cells, and then from the seed came the root, from the root came the xylem, the phloem, the cambium, the bark, the stem, the branches, the flowers, the leaves, and the world. The process of seed becoming a tree starts at a point when the surrounding water stimulates the seed to sprout. So this seed, which is Prakriti, which otherwise is dormant, is stimulated, Guna Samyavastha is disturbed, and the seed sprouts, the Prakriti sprouts. So the roots are formed, Mula Prakriti. Then the stem is formed, it's called Buddhi. Then the branches are formed, called Ahankar. And then the branches are further divided into 10 branches called Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, and then the leaves, and then the leaves then take the sun rays, etc., etc. That is how the world is formed. The question now is, who brought the seed there? Gorakshanath Maharaj says, Kuvare kinare avadhu imlisi boire. On the bank of the well, a small turmeric seed was put. By whom he doesn't say. Kuvare kinare avadhu imlisi boire, charo or mirgala chaire. The only difference Gorakshanath Maharaj says in this tree is the seed has sprouted into a tree where you see lots of deers. Now, seed cannot give a deer, but he is hinting at the fact that the transformation can create anything unimaginable. From the inert world, so many plethora of numerous things are created. So the Sankhya says the entire modification is of the seed. So the Achetana seed is the cause of the world, not the water. Water's presence is must. They agree with that. But water has formed the tree? No. Seed has formed the tree. But the Upanishads, according to Advaita, they say it is the water which is Sat. Tat aikshat. Water desired the seed, so the seed came in existence. Now, whether seed and water, these are forever present companions, or water was first and the seed came later, which became tree, which itself means whether the creator and the creation are always present, or first the creator comes and then the creation comes. See the fundamental problem. First Ishvara came and then looked left, right and said, create the world. Is that so? Or creation and the creator are simultaneously created? Because Advaita also says Maya is the force, Shakti, by which the world is created. The moment Maya came in existence, Ishvara came in existence. Maya and Ishvara is a simultaneous creativity. The water of the river is gone into a small stream, and suppose there is a huge pond there. Now water goes into the pond and we call it lake or pond. So when did the pond came in existence? When the water went into the ditch, or when the ditch was there? If the ditch alone was there, it is not called pond. We call it as a ditch. Water, when it enters, ditch becomes pond. So is it water first or the ditch first in becoming the pond? No, nothing is first, simultaneous. So creator and creation, Mayopadhita Vishwa and Ishvara is simultaneously present. So according to Advaita, the water is the creator of the seed. And that water which was associated with the seed together formed the tree. So for the tree, seed is the cause, but the real cause is the water that was present around the seed. What about the rest of the water in the well? That water is neither interested in forming the world or otherwise. The water in the well is called Nirguna Brahma. The water that got associated with the seed, Saguna Brahma. The water that surrounded the seed is Ishvara. Seed itself is Maya. And Maya and Ishvara together, because seed, if it is not watered, it will not become tree. Water without the seed has no meaning, because then it becomes only the well water, that is Nirguna Brahma. But then again, when did the seed come? Seed is there from eternity. What about the water around the seed? That is also from eternity. That means, as Swami Vivekananda, out of his experience in Samadhi, said that creator and creation are two parallel lines which have no beginning but can end. So creator, creation, then the tree, the world, billions of years, Brahma's, so many Brahma Varsha, etc., etc., Brahma's day, and the tree becomes dry. and again goes back in the dormant form. Nothing remains of the tree except the seed. Again the water around the seed, again seed fertilizes, again the tree is formed. This process is going on forever and ever and ever. There was never a time when the creation was not there. But those who went to the seed from their level of the flower or the leaf that they were, they started descending down through the branches, through the stem, through the roots, and reached the essence called seed. They realized the whole tree, what it is. We are hanging on one of the branch as one of the minuscule leaf. The leaf cannot understand the tree. The leaf has to grow. So the first leaf grows to understand the branch. That is the beginning of Sampradnyat Samadhi. Further, the leaf grows to understand many branches, which we call as Ashtadha Siddhi, because now he has the knowledge of the branches. Further, he grows, and then he has the knowledge of the stem or the stem itself. Then he goes down and gets the knowledge even of the roots. When he gets the knowledge of the roots, he is gone almost closer to Sananda Samadhi. Now he is not interested in becoming the leaves or the fruits. He is happy to be the root. Further he goes and realizes the roots have come from the seed, which is now not seen. He starts contemplating on Avyakta. And when he transcends the seed, he becomes one with the water surrounding the seed, and water surrounding the seed is the same as water in the well, so he becomes Brahma. But the Sankhyas are still insisting that, sir, agreed water is required for sprouting. Required is different. Fertilizer is also required for the plant to grow. But fertilizer is not the cause of the plant. The cause of the plant is the seed. And the seed is Prakriti. And we agree Prakriti is Achetan. But it is Achetan Prakriti because of the presence of water called Purusha. It sprouts and the world is the form. So, cause of the world, Sankhya says, is the seed, the Achetan Pradhan or Prakriti, not the Brahma or the Purusha. And they say that some statements are there in the Upanishads saying that Brahma, 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 but that is actually a Gauna Shabda. As we say, he is a tiger. That doesn't mean he is a tiger. Similarly, Brahma has created everything doesn't mean Brahma has created. It is kind of a Gauni Vritti. It is said like that. He is a tiger means he is not a tiger. He is like a tiger. Actual tiger is different. So Brahma is told that it is the cause of the universe, but it is not the cause of the universe. It is said by as a Gauni Vritti, as an appreciation, to give credence to Brahma. In truth, creation is by Achetana Brahma. How? Look at the statements. Tat tej aikshata, tat ap ap aikshata. It is clearly said that tej did the aikshana. Ap means water did the aikshana. So Akash did the aikshana and Vayu was formed. Vayu did the aikshana and Agni was formed. Agni did the action, Jala was formed, Jala did the action, Prithvi was. This is how it has happened. And all these are insentient, Prakriti only. So, The Prakriti is formed by Achetana Brahma. But Vedanti says, sorry, sir, it is not so. You have not seen the Upanishads correctly. The Shruti says, Sat eva soumya idam agre asit. Sat eva means Brahma is the one which is existing. Tat aikshata. By his action. Tat tejo asrujata. Sa ayam devataihi akshata. Hanta aham ima tistro devata anena jivena atmana anupravishya nama rupe vyakaravani. This is how Chandogya Upanishad says. What it means? Sat is the first who did the action. The Brahma did the action. Then Tat tejo asrujata. From there the fire was produced, or tej tattva. Fire not means the fire that we see here. Tej tattva was asrujata. Sayam devataihi akshata. Then the devatas were created. What is this devata business in Hindu pantheon? Forget about the arthavada of the Puranas. That Devi came, that Dev came, then that Dev, and suddenly somebody was in the penance and the Dev frightened. Indra is always frightening, getting frightened. Somebody is doing the penance. My seat will go. This is all Purana. What is a Deva? Why Hindus have so many Deva Devatas? Deva Devatas are the one who enlightens is Deva, because it comes from the Deva Dhatu. Consciousness, the ultimate consciousness, Brahma, truth, Satya, Sat, when it decided in the sense of Aikshana, Sankalpa, and when the world was getting created, each of this creation requires a kind of power to regulate Ishatva. The one who regulates everything is Ishvara, Ishavaraha. The one who has blessings or ability, power, boon to control everything. But at a lower level, as we come from Ishvara, Vayu, it's an element. It's a Panchamahabhuta that needs to be controlled. That needs to be, the Vayu is doing some functioning. Everything that functions in this world has to have some intellectual disposition for the control and regulation. Vayuhu vahati. Agnihi. What does the Agni do? Burns. That means inherently there is some power in the Agni called burning. Inherently there is a power in wind called blowing of wind. Inherently there is power in the space of accommodation. It accommodates. This ability to do a function, when it got first created, has come because of the presence of the consciousness itself. So the consciousness is a dwelling into everything and letting the function happen the way it happens. That consciousness, which is indwelling consciousness into a functional manifestation, is called Devata. In the world, everything gets destroyed after some time. So destruction is also a functional manifestation. The Lord that looks after the entire destruction, including a destruction of a small jiva to the destruction of entire creation, is nothing else but the Shiva. The eyes have an ability to see. The Indriya called Aksha, eyes, have ability to see. Now this is such an insentient small crystal ball, cannot do anything unless the ability to see, means the functional manifestation of the eye to see is because of the presiding consciousness in it, which then is referred to as a Devata. Surya Devata is the Adhishtatri Devata of the eye. So consciousness, when it got distributed down the line, why would consciousness get distributed if it is not interested in anything? No. Consciousness apparently got distributed because it got covered by Maya. The water got poured into the flour and the dough was formed. From the dough, then the puri and the chapati and everything was formed. In everything, there is presence of water there. In a similar manner, the functional manifestation of the consciousness, when the consciousness is undergoing, not consciousness, when the Prakriti is undergoing the change, the Maya, it gets split, and that is how it has come in me. In me, it comes in the form of Atma, the same consciousness, residing in 5 feet 7 inches, is my Jivatma. This is a Jiva. The consciousness is there inside it called Atma, so I become Jivatma. When I remove the Jiva part of it and remain only Atma, then all Atmas are same, all Jivas are different. Remove the jivas from everywhere and take only the consciousness, the Atman, all rolled in one. The sun ray from me, a sun ray from others, all are sun rays ultimately belonging to the sun. Similarly, all the Atman is nothing else but I am Atma Brahma. I am the Brahma. I will realize it. So that is how, sir, Advaita is trying to refute the Sankhyas. This is like this. All right. The Jala, Teja did the action, Jala did the action, Apa did the action, but that is secondary manifestation. The first action is Sat eva somya idam agre asit tat akshyata. Who did the first viewing? The Brahma. Subsequently, being its part, where is the source of electricity? In the hydroelectric dam. Subsequently, when the electricity came, there is another engine running there. Agreed, in the engine, electricity is there. That's why it is running. But that is because of engine, the water is being pumped. Agreed. But the engine itself got this from where? From the hydroelectric dam. So the functioning, the first functioning, the first karya is by that Karana Brahma. Then everything happened. That is why Sa esha animaihi aitat atmam idam sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo tattvamasi shvetaketo ho iti chetanasya shvetaketo ho atmatvena upadishyati. O Shvetaketu, that subtle principle is all that is. That is truth. That is Atman. You are that. So specifically it is said, Advaita is telling the Sankhya people, Sachetana Shvetaketu is shown a Sachetan Atma. Because if Achetan Prakriti is Atma, then the Rishi would have told Shvetaketu that Shvetaketu Sa Prakriti, Sa Atma. You are Prakriti and that is your Atma. Now, Sankhyas are becoming very feeble. They are coming with now very few last remnants of objection, almost accepting the defeat. They say, sometimes, the king of any country, he personally doesn't do any work. His work is done by all his subordinates. the sardars or the generals and the officiating people, they do all the work. He doesn't do any work. He's just sitting there. But he says that they're all my people. Although he says they are all my people, who does the work actually? The king doesn't do the work. The work is done by its subordinate, Bhrutya, Sevaka. The Sevaka does. So Sevaka does the work just for the sake of his humility or understanding. He says, my Sevaka, Deva Duta, the Deva Chandra, is me only. If a general has won the war, the king says that, yeah, he is me only. Like this, it is said in Veda that I created the world, Brahma is saying, but it is saying just for the sake of saying it. Actual creation is by Prakriti. Again, last attempt by Sankhyas to prove that Prakriti is the cause of the universe. But the Shankaracharya or the Badarayana Rishi refutes this Advaiti, saying that Tannishthasya mokshopadeshat. Sir, if you say Achetan Prakriti is the cause, and if you keep Nishtha on it, that means what is the aim of all the sadhana we are doing? As has been told to us, being Advaiti, that realizing that you are Atma will put you to the moksha. So for the salvation, for the antima mukti, what is required? The understanding that anubhuti, that I am Atma, Brahma, or I am Atma, I am the soul, I am Atma, I am Brahma, is required. If we agree to Sankhya, what will be the situation? I am Prakriti is the aim, because Prakriti is the main thing of creation. But there is a problem in that. What is the problem? If you keep faith in Prakriti as the creator, and the entire Upanishad is trying to say that you become Prakriti, so what will happen? I will become Prakriti, but Prakriti is not the moksha, because Prakriti again comes into the creation. So what will be the nature of my moksha? Becoming Prakriti, again becoming manifest, again becoming Prakriti, again manifesting. So I'll keep on repeating this. Where is the moksha? So Tannishthasya mokshopadanat, it cannot be the Achetan as the cause of the world. Second is Heyatva Vachanat. Heyatva means everything in the Prakriti is changing. How my moksha will remain constant? Moksha is a state which doesn't change. That is what is called moksha. After salvation, there is no further mutation, modification. And Prakriti is nothing else but the modification. So how the salvation can be becoming Prakriti, and if Prakriti is the origin of universe? That being the reason, Acharya says, it is not possible that the Achetana Brahma, Achetana Prakriti can be the cause of the universe. And one last bashing argument is given by Shankaracharya in the 9th Sutra, where it says, Swa Apyayat, because of merger into self. What is this merger into self? At any given point of time, if we observe ourselves, we are into three different states. Avastha, Jagruta, Swapna, and Sushupti. Of which the most interesting avastha for us is Jagruta, but spiritually the most interesting avastha or curiously inquiry worth avastha is Sushupti. Everyone in this world sleeps. First of all, we do not know why we sleep. Forget about the medicine talking about there is a recovery, reparation, you require rest, you require. First of all, why do we require a rest? God has created a machine. It can continue, like machines are continuing without sleep. Machines are continuing. They can work 24 hours till they break down. Similarly, for 70 years, we can keep. Where is the question of sleep coming in between? Why there is a disturbance of 7, 8 hours, 10 hours every day where we do nothing? That's first thing. Second, in Sushupti, where do we go? One thing is sure, that in deep sleep, I do not know what is happening in the world. For me, for the sleeping person, the one who is in deep sleep, world doesn't exist. If it is absolutely not existing, the world itself is not existing. And not for 1 minute, for long 7 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever. No, something must be happening which we don't remember. It cannot happen, because if something happens, the memory is there. You have a dream. When you wake up, you say, I had a dream. You may not remember everything, but you at least remember, I had a dream and I was a king in the dream. After deep sleep, you don't remember anything. There is no smruti. And if smruti is not there, that means the event may not be there. Otherwise, event is there. There has to be a reflection called smruti. Smruti is a pratibimba of what has happened as bimba. And I have no smruti whatsoever of the sleep, except the fact that I was sleeping. That too when I get up. At that time, all me, in the Jagrut Avastha, whatever is me, my body, my indriyas, my senses, my respiration, my pranas, my nature, my tree, my car, my wife, all this, whatever is there, is gone for a couple of hours. Which it means that there is a state when the creation ends for the time being. And when the creation ends for the time being, does that mean I go into Prakruti Samya Avastha? Because no gunas are manifested. In deep sleep, which guna is manifesting? They say it is Tamo guna. Rajoguna is absent because there is no movement. Maybe a little bit of movement must be happening. Somebody else observes it. After the sleep, I come to know that I was sleeping. That means there must be some jnana, satoguna must be there. Because if I become Prakruti Samyavastha, and that's why the world has ended, then I am mukta. So every time you sleep, you got moksha. Doesn't happen that way. To analyze that, yatra etat purushaha swapiti nama sata somya sada sampanno bhavati swam apito bhavati tasmat enam swapati iti achakshate swam hi apito bhavati. O Soumya, when this Purusha is said to be sleeping, that time he is one with the Sat. He dissolves in Swa. That is why it is called Supta. Lean, dissolved. In sleep, everything dissolves in Swa. Because why it is called Swa Apita, Supta, and that is why Sushupti, the word. And that is why it further said, Prabhava and Apyaya are as called Nirmiti and Pralaya. Manaha prachara upadhi vishesha sambandhat indriyarthat grohanam tad vishesho apanno jivo jagarati. Acharya is saying, when you are dissolved into the self, you go into sleep. When you are awake, what happens? Jagruta avastha. When Jiva connects with the Bahya Padartha through Vritti and obtains knowledge and keeps Tadatmya on any one object such as Deha, it is called Jagruta Avastha. So what is Jagruta Avastha? Jagruta Avastha, the only difference is the Vritti is identifying with your body. Deha Tadatmya. In the sleep, the Vritti is not identifying with anything. So you are sleeping. What it means is the world will come in existing only when it is apprehended by the Vritti. If the Vritti is not present, you will sleep. Or when the Vritti is not present and never going to come back, the world is dead for you. Tad vasana vishishtaha swapnat pashyamanaha shabdavachyo bhavati. The Jiva, when in the Jagrut Avastha, has a lot many vasanas, then he sees them into Manomaya Swapna. It is called Swapna Avastha. The Vrittis are still active, but in a Pratibhasika Satta. स उपाधि द्वय उपरमे सुषुप्ता अवस्थायाम अधिकृत विशेष अभावात् स्व आत्मनि प्रलीन इव स्वम ही अपितो भवति इति उच्यते. When the deep sleep is there, since vritti and mana both are dissolved, upadhi laya, since there is no upadhi sapeksha abhiman, the jiv is as if dissolves in Atma, and that is why it is called Jiva is apita in Atma, Swa is called Atma, apita is dissolved, Swa apita supta sushupti. These three avasthas, when they are clear to us, Acharya says, the creation that we are talking about, whether it is the Prakriti, whether it is this, look at this, what is happening. Whether the world is coming from Achetana Pradhana or it is coming from Brahma, all that what you are seeing, first of all, your own perception of that world is only depending upon which avastha you are. That means the presence of the world itself may or may not be there, sir. This is called a further philosophical depth. How the world is created, who created the world, whether the world was in the beginning or the creator was in the beginning. These discussions completely change on this platform, because this platform says that presence of the world itself is a situational thing. Because when I sleep, it is not existing. Now the discussion is coming, Acharya, after refuting Sankhya, Acharya is coming to a point where he is saying that, look, we discussed a lot about whether the hen is first or the egg is first, but now we are coming to a discussion whether there is a hen or egg at all. Because every day in your experience, there is a time when the world is not existing. There is a time in your experience when the world is existing, but in the reflective form through manam called swapna. And then there is some time when your vritti identifies with you. That's why you see the world. If your antakarana is not undergoing any transformation, if there are no thoughts, if there are no vrittis, world cannot exist. That means each of the constituent of the world can extinguish the world itself. It's possible. I can myself, at my will, through my efforts, completely dissolve the universe, the creation, the world, which is called transcending the world. But the question is, sir, that which can be extinguished, was it really existing? Agreed, you blew off the candle and the flame was put off. We are asking a completely different question. You felt you blew the candle and put off the flame, but was the flame existing at all or not? That is because Hridaya Shabda Nivarchanam Srutya Darshitam Sava Esha Atma Hrudi Tasya Etat Eva Niruktam Hridayam Iti Tasmat Hridayam Iti. Acharya says, the very word that Atma is in your Hridaya, it's said because Hridaya Shabda has come like what? Word Hridayam is that Atma is in Hridaya. Hrudi ayam iti Hridayam. Hridaya is not that physiological heart we are talking about. Spiritually, Hrudi. Hrudi Atma Tattvam. We do the prayers. Hrudi means Hrudi ayam. Place where Atma resides. That is the only true existence of ours. Rest everything around it. The body, the mind, the antakaran, the vritti, the states of Jagruti, Sushupti, all are false creations around the kernel of truth called Hrudayam Hrudayam. So that is why, apart the fact that Achetam Pradhanam cannot be the origin or cannot be the beginning of the world, the cause of the world is definitely is Brahma. Yes, it is in the form of the water that goes close to the seed. The seed becomes tree, but in that becoming, it uses water at every step. When it becomes root, it is using the water. When it becomes stem, it uses the water. When it is leaf, it uses the water. That means it is the water that keeps the tree alive. Although it has sprung from the seed, without water it cannot survive. Although the world has come from modifications of Prakriti called seed, yet nothing of these modifications and creations and presence and all this Nama Rupa would possible unless that water, which is called Brahma, is present in each and everything. That is how the water says, everything is in me. I am in everything, yet I am not them. That means my Saguna Brahma, called Karya Brahma, is into everything that is created. Without me, nothing can work. Mayi adhyakshena suyate characharam. But I am not anything of this because I am the well, I am the water in the well. The water in the well is not doing anything. That water which seeped through the well and got encircled around the seed is the only water which is involved in this creation. That is called Saguna Brahma or Karya Brahma. यथा अग्नेः ज्वलतः सर्वदिशो विस्फुल्लिङ्गः विप्रतिष्ठे तस्मात् आत्मनः सर्वे प्राणा यथा यततं विप्रतिष्ठते प्राणेभ्यो देवा देवेभ्यो लोका इति. The last Gati Samanyat Sutra says that like the sparks that are coming out of a burning wood, spark coming up the burning wood, the burning wood is the source. Spark is nothing else but part and parcel of the burning wood, but separated. All these creations and the jivas are the sparks of mind. Because they are sparks and because they are away from this, they will extinguish. So they will come in existence, they will go, they will keep coming in existence and they will go. That is how the worlds will be formed. And the last argument that he gives, which is called the 11th argument, Srutavacha. And on the top of it, O Sankhya people, Brahma is the real reason, cause of the universe, because Srutavacha, it is stated in the Sruti. Nowhere in the Sruti it is said that Prakriti is the cause. So because of all this, with folded hands, Shankaracharya says that the creation, the cause, instrumental and material, both the causes, Upadana and Nimitta Karan, is Brahma only. And here rests the argument against the Sankhya, and Ikshatyadhikaran is over here. Then it moves further to a adhikarana called Anandadhikarana, which is the next adhikarana in the Brahma Sutra. So far, Acharya has established beyond a doubt that Brahma, Brahma, and Brahma is the ultimate truth. Brahma, Brahma, Brahma is the Upadana and Nimitta Karan for this particular world. Achetana Prakriti cannot be, is not, and ought not be the cause of the universe. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om, Sanjay ji. In the last session, you have quoted Kabir Maharaj a couple of quotings. It was not very clear to me. I was not in the class, and from the voice clip it is not clear. So I will write the part of it. Just clear it to me in the writing in the next. I mean, in the writing in the group. That is number one. Number one, and Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga is throwing some light into these aspects, isn't it? Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Yeah. And number three, when we sleep, we are resting within Sushupti. I mean, we are in Sushupti. We are already in the Brahma. Okay, agree. But the same thing happens in the death also. On how come it is, and how come the birth? These three things. Can you just discriminate? How does that happen?
Had there been a experience that the person who is dead comes back and says, I was dead, then we would have perhaps accepted that death is analogous to sleep. In the Sushupti or sleep, the avastha gets sublated by another avastha called Jagruta. That means sleep gets sublated by Jagruta avastha. Death or mrityu doesn't get sublated by any other avastha, so there is no connect with any next avastha of mrityu. That is why mrityu is a dissociation of the linga sharira from the existing body. The memory of what the previous body has undergone is not there in the linga sharira that is moving forward, because it is going forward with a new set of vasanas for the manifestation. The old set of vasanas are exhausted during that particular birth, so they are gone. They are gone out of memory also. Unless one is a yogi, he cannot get into the depth of the previous vasanas which are exhausted. In case of sleep, it is a completely different avastha, because when the sleep comes, it gets sublated by the next avastha called Jagruta avastha. So that means in the sleep, the same individual, the same linga sharira is experiencing a swoon. There is no change in the sharira. The linga sharira of that particular prarabdha vashat janma is still there. So mrityu and sleep, these are completely different aspects to that. So that is why, and as far as birth is concerned, birth is reappearance of a linga sharira into a suitable body. That is all. There is no other definition for birth. When you leave your last station and then you are in a train journey, and when you alight into the new station, getting down into the new station, the entire station is different than the previous station. So that is why leaving the last station, moment you get into the train, the station is gone along with the memory. During the journey to the next station is where it is decided what kind of body, etc., which station you will get down, while getting down, what will you carry, and then you get down into the new station, that is birth. So that is why birth and death are not comparable with these three avastha of ek upadhik janma. So these are three different avasthas. Hari Om.
Okay, one more. That hridaya, can you just define it again, please?
Rudi ayam iti hrudayaha. This is the vyutpatti. Rudi ayam. That means inside the rud. Rud is a cave. Ayam is a lakshanarth for atma. The place where atma resides is Rudaya, Rudi Atma. Rudayasta Angushta Matra. In Kathopanishad, it is described like this. And you meditate upon it. That is what Kathopanishad says. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you very much.
Hari Om, Sanjay ji. Thank you for beautifully explaining this Sankhya philosophy and Advaita philosophy, wherein you have, it is clear now. A beautiful example. Sankhya says that seed is the world, and Advaita says tree is the world. And ultimately, the moksha part supersedes the Sankhya philosophy. Very well understood. Now, in last class, you have mentioned Prakriti Niyamena Pravartade. Now, you have said this seed is water surrounding the seed is Ishvara. Well understood. Seed is also Maya, Prakriti. Now, seed is coming from the eternity. Now, this eternity, where it resides and how it develops the seed form. It is my question.
The infinity, moment you say infinity, you're referring to time. Infinity, moment you say infinity, you are referring to time, because infinite, it is said when there is something finite. When finite is there in your conception, then only you can think of infinite. That means infinity and finity, or infinite and finite, both are aspects of time. Now, is it possible for you, by some stretch of imagination, to imagine a situation when there is no time? Only when no time is different than infinite. Because infinite presumes measurement. That which cannot be measured uses a word called measurement. Aparimita, that which cannot be measured. The question of measurement doesn't arise. There is a situation like that. So infinite is within the time frame, and what is within the time frame is within the Maya. That is why the question why, how, where are only asked within the Maya. Why is never existing outside the Maya. There are no questions at all outside the Maya. That's why when Buddha was asked 6 questions by his disciple, he said, you do not need to have answers of this now. You will get the answers after some time, when you will become Tathagata. So he said, sir, how I will get answers after some time? He said, no, you will not get answers. Questions will not remain. So infinity as a concept, howsoever huge it may seem to our mind, it is very difficult to imagine. In fact, if you browse the history regarding the scientists' approach to infinity, a couple of scientists have gone mad, mathematicians, because infinity is very difficult to imagine, but still it is imaginable. And that which is imaginable, that which is infinite and finite, that which is dvandva, infinite, finite, has to be within the Maya, and the Brahma is outside it. So that which transcends Maya, there is no time itself, so there is no question of infinity. So within the time, within the Maya, yes, the seed is there since infinity. Creator is there since infinity. These are 2 parallel lines which have no beginning. Beginning because it is referring to time. But it does have an end. Why? Once you transcend it, there is no question of beginning and end. Hari Om.
So ultimately, it leads to the Bhagavada, Hridartam yat pradiyade, na pradiyade, chalpini, tadudalpino maya, yathava ko yathakama.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Infinity minus infinity, again it is infinity. So Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Thank you. Thank you.
Hari Om.
I have a question.
Yes.
In deep sleep, we just heard that whatever I cannot experience cease to exist. Similarly, in Jagruti, there is a concept of Pratiti Matra Sattavad, where we say that whatever I don't experience cease to exist. Slightly difficult to understand because, just looking at it in a very casual way, if I'm sitting in a lit house and I enter a dark room, then in that dark room at that point in time, I do not experience what I was experiencing outside. But that does not mean it ceased to exist. So how to actually understand this better?
The presence of whatever you have experienced is in the smruti form. When you are in a Jagrut Avastha, you can recall it. In Sushupti Avastha, the ability to recall is also gone. So it is like a bulb. When the electricity is flowing, it is showing you the light. Now imagine the electricity is cut off, so the bulb is still there, the filament is still there, but there is no light. Now the question is, when you are awake, the pratiti that you talk about is because of your ability to comprehend or perceive the things outside. Your ability to perceive is because of the transformation or the change that happens in Antakarana. Now, when Antakarana is undergoing change, it is called experience. A fluctuation in Antakarana is thought or experience, then which is stored in the form of smruti. This process of fluctuation or vritti leading to the experience or perception or smriti. Entire machine is absent when you are sleeping. Once the yogi, what he does is, he observes and understands how the vrittis are coming, and thereafter he dissociates the himself, that means the consciousness, from this happening. So what happens is, in the mirage or the mrugajalam that you see, you are actually feeling that the water is there. When the knowledge dawns upon you, nothing changes. The antakarana remains there, the vritti remains there, the world remains there, the perception remains there. Only thing that changes is you come to know that this is false. That is called badhit anuvritti. So in that particular state, if you ask, do you see the world? They see the world. That is how the Tukaram Maharaj spoke to us. Samartha Ramdas said, Agaje Gadlechi nahi. He said that the world never existed, and yet he wrote Dasabodh. Why? If you are in the imaginary world, then write an imaginary grantha also. Because in imaginary world or illusive world, an illusive grantha can take you out of illusion. In mathematics, x has no value. But while solving the question, we say that let the age of the person be x. That's stupidity. How the age of the person can be x? But yes, presume. Why? It helps in coming to the conclusion that x is equal to 88. And then you drop the x. So similarly, the only difference in these three avasthas of ours and the Jnani is, Jnani knows all the three avasthas are not true. We believe that they are absolutely the truth. Otherwise, there is no difference between a dacoit and a saint. The only difference is this. Hari Om.